Yeah. big event on Sunday?
As far as I know, we found some more stuff.
It looks great. I mean, there's so much stuff over there.
Yeah.
Can you over and hear it?
And we're not doing
Yes.
See if she can
What?
We're not doing clothing. It's
Oh!
all household goods and.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're gonna do clothing?
Yeah.
I was thinking.
Oh, thank you, Barbara.
No, I didn't know either until I knew you were talking about people.
You
That's
too.
perfectly fine.
Oh, my pleasure. All right. Bye.
Yes.
Thank you very much. You guys. Her phone charge is real low, but she's going to try it a little.
Oh, that Barbara?
Yes,
Thank you.
Rabbi Barbara says, in case you're trying to call her,
Oh.
it wouldn't work because she accidentally dropped her phone
Oh, no.
and it's
I left her a message yesterday. All the codes on it and all the things. I hope she.
right. Yeah, she did get it,
Okay.
and yeah, but I guess she needs a new phone or
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You put your guitar. That's a good idea. On that stand.
Yes, I normally do. I'm sorry, but I didn't.
Would you move something?
Yes, I did move something. What is this?
Open the compartment.
They know you by your first name.
Oh,
To them, my first name is Rabbi. But seriously, that was a pleasure to see us. Oh, and the microphone stand is back there. That came from, where was I yesterday? I'll think about it. Sometimes I forget. Oh, that came from Goodwill here in Burbank.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You'd be surprised, everybody. You have to look.
Yes.
I know one day we're going to have an Ask the Rabbi, and the first question is going to be, what was the most unusual thing you ever found at the thrift shop? And I'll have to think.
Well, you better start thinking. Because somebody's gonna ask you.
It's my pleasure. The more, let's be honest, while we're setting up. If we reach one child in our school because we found something that is unusual,
Right.
then it's priceless. Then it's absolutely priceless. And these things like the drum and this.
Oh, yeah.
On the other hand, it's also anything we can do to support the people who help us here at Temple with something that makes their life easier. Like in Robyn's case, she's still teaching for the school. Not still, she's teaching for the school district. So I don't know who told you, sorry, there's a little black bag. That's a zither inside of it, but it's got a carrying case. So now she just has to schlep around the zither in one hand and the guitar pick in another hand.
So beautiful.
And the price is very reasonable. And so that's exactly where my head is at for Temple. The more we can give our people and our kids and make their life easier, the happier it's going to be. Good Shabbos, Margaret. Come.
Good Shabbos.
Come. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Yes.
All right, let's get yes, Eileen. I'll just raise your hand.
No, I said good for you.
Oh, no.
I'm encouraging.
I hate to start. All right, it'll be another minute or two. I wouldn't do that to you.
What?
You wouldn't know how to play the song Only in America on the guitar, would you?
Only in America, land of opportunity, yeah.
Good.
Well, I only know that.
That's okay. Because, no, it's a tragedy. Jay Black, the lead singer of Jay and the Americans, passed away today. So in a way, so in a way here, I was thinking about that would be kind of fun. It's also Veterans Day week, where you think about Only in America and the concept of the GI Bill and those types of things. So I was just thinking about that. So, I can't go. Okay. Yeah. With the guy that's washing cars, make a giant step and reach right up and touch the stars. Yeah.
Nice.
That's the thing. All right. Let us begin. Truly, coming here for me and for others, it is that we have calmness. Because the world is not getting any less crazy. The world is not getting any less crazy. So the way we can put ourselves in that position is by beginning our service with Havenu Shalom Aleichem. We bring you that measure of completeness and fulfillment, which is shalom, which is peace. It comes from the same word as completeness, by the way. So let us begin our service with Havenu Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom, shalom, shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Left, and wish Shabbat Shalom. Look to your right, thank you, David. And wish each other Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat of completeness. Or, right, good idea. Let's wave, that's good too. And let us complete. Shalom Would you all please turn to page 121 in the Siddurim, as Robyn leads us in the candle blessing.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
And the text on page 120, everyone.
Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
You all please turn to page 138. We showed love by wishing each other a measure of peace. We continue the concept of love on page 138 as we announce our love for Shabbat, the day of rest, the day of peace, and the admiration. 138.
It says what 30, but it said
L'chadodi.
not in here.
I'm going to come over here, Margaret. I can't walk over the car. With my luck, I'll knock it over. So come. Hold on. Yeah. That's so strange. Hold on. Oh, okay. I know. Margaret, look at the numbers in parentheses, not the numbers outside of the parentheses. See the number on the left? No, on the right. I'm sorry. See the numbers in the parentheses.
Now people know for every.
Well, no, that's what I go through. No, let's be honest. There have been times that I've given the wrong numbers in the service because I'm reading the other numbers from the other one, from the other book. The Shabbat one, because they want to, if you have the weekday one, it's one set of numbers, but the Shabbat one has both numbers for the weekday and for Shabbat itself. Shame. That's what the UAHC did. Shame. Good. Okay, L'chadodi, everybody, on page 138. If you have parentheses inside the parentheses, if you don't have parentheses, maybe you can buy it for Hanukkah before they run out of it. All right, L'chadodi. Likrat kala, Shabbat. Please turn to page 142. Once again, what a great act of love it is to invite someone to your ceremony. In this case, we're inviting a spirit. On page 142, Shalom Aleichem. I don't often push TV programs, but it is very cute. Ghosts on CBS, either at 9 or 9:30, I forget, on Thursday nights. It is very, very, very funny and very unique. About a woman who inherits a house that's inhabited by ghosts.
Are they nice?
Very. And they're all very unique. One is a Boy Scout who gets shot in the neck by an arrow from one of the scouts. To singer during the 20s, to a investment counselor who in more ways than one is caught with his pants down. And if you want to see that in details, you have to go watch the program or see it. But it's very cute, and it does deal with some of the concepts in Judaism about ghosts and things of that nature. Okay. Shalom Aleichem. Let us invite the spirits, the angels who join us in this world. Please, on 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Shalom, Aleichem Elyon, Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Aleichem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Aleichem Shalom, Aleichem Shalom, Aleichem Elyon.
Tracy, do me a favor.
Sure.
See if Eileen is okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Well, I'm not sorry, everybody. You're all important to us. And I don't want anybody left, especially not for the formal call to prayer and the Shabbat, which is coming up. So, as that great, oh good.
She was sweating stuff.
I understand. Barbara too, come to think. Where's
She
Barbara?
needs a root canal, so she's in pain, so she went home.
Really?
Yeah.
She came all this way to think of.
Yeah.
She'll be in my thoughts and prayers. Okay, everybody please rise for the formal call to prayer. I didn't know that, I feel bad. We'll be thinking of Barbara during silent prayer.
Yes.
The Baruch Hu, everybody on page 146. Please join us. Please turn to page 150. Let us read together in the middle of the page. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves you people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Please turn to page 152 and 153. The little one was getting jealous, so I figured I could this up. Little anthropomorphism. Shema, the watch of our faith, the gift we gave to the world, the belief in the one God. If you're holding your siddur and it's comfortable to lift it up and face Torah, as David is doing, he's holding up in tzitzit Thomas. Please join us in the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Praise His name, whose glorious kingdom is forever and ever. On Israel, on Israel, on Israel, on Israel, on Israel, on Israel. Ora vino, 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 ora vino. Let me see this on Israel. I think we're going to break from tradition tonight a little bit. Please turn to page 155 instead of 154. And we're going to do a little bit of reading. Everyone, love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or arrested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the front of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I'm Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I'm Adonai your God. That's not bad. But see, this siddur has the literal translation next to the prayer in Hebrew, but then the committee came up with some creative ways to interpret that prayer, and that's why in certain places it's much more poetic. And I've never done that one, and that's really nice. And we will start putting that in the repertoire.
I like it too.
Yeah, so we'll do that. Page 158, everybody. Now we just left loving God. Now we get to what God tells you. God tells you, if you're playing professional or college football, none of these routines in the end zone. Do not shake your booty to be happy. Because when you shake your booty, the other team looks at your booty and feels bad. And I'm glad you're laughing. I just thought that. But it's true. We are not allowed to celebrate the demise of our enemies. I like the guys, the football players, they scored a touchdown. The guy takes the football and throws it into the stands. Of course, the officials go nuts, and so does the owner, because he just lost $40. But I don't care. I like that much better than, oh, we just won. What does this have to do with winning? Right? So that's what it's sort of Milchamocha. You're not allowed to lord it over your enemies when the time of the demise. So please join us on page 158 and think of in the future, not rubbing it in if you possibly can avoid it. Sometimes, listen, honestly speaking, it's a lot of fun, but you can't do that. So let's do Milchamocha together.
1, 2,
3, 4. Please turn to page 161. Let us pray together at the top of that page. Everyone, let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting for your will. In the Hebrew, Baruch atah Adonai, haporez sukat shalom, aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. Let us say Amen. Page 162, the Mishamro. Maybe this is a good spot to do that. I'd like to compliment Eileen, the members of the sisterhood, and everyone who worked so hard last Sunday getting my religious school kids wet. It was seriously, they worked really, really, really hard so that the parking lot sale will be successful. I'm proud that we contribute stuff. I'm proud we found things that certainly will help. But all, color kavod, all honors to the sister for doing the work they did. It was really, really remarkable. And I'm sure that Robyn agrees with me, seeing them work so hard. It was just great. And once again, this is what makes Temple important. And this is what. So now, I said that why before the Vishamru, after Sunday afternoon, please take a couple of days of rest, please. Please take some time off. I know you're working hard. Things are coming in. People have been bringing very interesting and wonderful, loving things. If you happen to be in the area on Sunday, after your teaching is over, Olivia, you may go to the parking lot there. But seriously, please stop by, at least to show your support for the sisterhood. We're not asking you to do anything, although get there early and help schlep a little bit stuff would be very well received. I'll be here as early as I can get here. So, back to the service. The Shalom, everybody, in the top of page 162. Take your rest where you can find it, take your enjoyment, and once again, take it amongst your friends who give you rest. The Shalom, everybody. The Shalom, B'nai Yisrael, HaShabbat, La'asot et HaShabbat le'Torah. The Shalom, B'nai Yisrael, HaShabbat, La'asot et HaShabbat le'Torah.
Israel,
You all please rise. The pandemic has not left us. Flu season is upon us. In addition to that, we all know people who are in pain, have ailments. So if you know of someone who could benefit from a prayer of healing, as I raise my hand above you, and I know sometimes it's hard, say the name aloud. We can't say it aloud, then whisper it. But at least say the name so that it's in the air. Our prayer becomes that much more powerful, and also we get to share in the pikuach nefesh, in saving a soul. When you say the name aloud, the kinesiology of it is it helps heal you as well as the one you want healed. So please. Let us pray. El Na, El Na, El Na, Rafanallah. The word please God healer speaks to Shekhinah, the centrality of God, where healing occurs, the center where healing occurs. And may it be a healing of body, of mind, of soul, of complete healing. Let us all say Amen. Please turn to page 371.
What's it in here?
371. I'm sorry?
What's it in there?
371.
Oh,
Come. You didn't get quite far enough. You got the 273.
oh, 270.
No. That's fine.
Oh,
There you go, Margaret. This one.
on 2. This is
371. Mishaberach, the ancient formula put to the modern composition of W. Friedman. How Jewish is that? Everyone, Mishaberach.
May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. Let us sing Amen.
Second verse.
Mishaberach Kor HaBrachah Le'avotenu, as those in need of healing, with refuah,
Each of us is unique. In the history of our congregation, we've had identical twins, but they will tell you that they are not totally the same. With that in mind, each of us has a prayer that is unique to them. Let us recite that prayer silently, each person speaking from their heart to God's heart. Would the congregation please turn to page 178? Let us read together in the middle of that page. Everyone? Grant abundant peace in Israel, your people forever. For you are the sovereign God of all peace. May it be pleasing to you to bless your people, Israel, in every season and moment with your peace. Let us say, Amen.
Amen.
Please turn to page 180. If we are going to be the leaders in this movement for peace, then we need to be pure. Pure mind, pure heart. Page 180, 2/3 of the way down the page, is a prayer of personal penitence. Done. If you like the words, wait till high holidays when the choir does it. It's so beautiful. And now we'll just say it. Everyone, Yilarat Stone, Imri Figion Libi, Lefanecha Adno Yitzuri Bagoli. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to the Lord, my rock and my redeemer. And let us say, Amen. We close this section of the service with the last paragraph of the Mourner's Kaddish with a certain adaptation. The I'll call you Shrei Tevel is actually our formal invitation of all the people, of all the nations, of all the world to join us in the quest for peace. Everyone, together? Oseh Shalom B'Romal, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, V'Yimru. Amen. May the one who makes peace in the high heavens make peace for us, for all Israel, and for all who inhabit the earth. And let us say, Amen. You may be seated. I think that's a little bit better. Well, this is one of the fun parts. Jacob tricked his father and annoyed his brother. And being the brave man that he was, he left town. He headed for his uncle's place in Haran, which is basically Iraq. Seems like a big deal on the map, but it's about 500 miles. So it's like going from LA to Sacramento. But anyway, he goes there, he spends one night in the field, feeling terribly homesick. That's for another drash tonight. And then he heads to Haran. He asks for directions. He gets it. He sees this beautiful young lady with her flock of sheep, and she can't get the rock of the well moved out of the way. So he does it for her. And then he tells her, I think you're my cousin Rachel, and I'm your cousin Jacob, and are you Laban's daughter? And she runs away from him. Maybe it's because he kissed her. I don't know. Anyway, she runs to tell her father that your nephew Jacob is here. And he works for a while for his uncle. His uncle says, in typical Haranian fashion, you think you're going to work here for free? You're going to work here for money. I need the money. So he says, okay, I'll work for you for money on one condition. You let me marry Rachel. And he says, okay, but now you have to work for me for 7 years. But Jacob makes one mistake. His uncle asks him, what happened to bring you all the way to Haran from the land, well, it's not the land of Israel, from the land of Canaan? So he tells him the whole story about how he deceived his father. And the Torah gives us a hint for what's about to happen, because Laban says to him, wow, after that story, he says, you are truly my bone and flesh. Interesting word, Panan Hebrew, etzem, yes, it's bone, but also means self. So what Laban was saying was, you're just like me. The Torah is giving us kind of a hint of what's to happen. So Jacob agrees to work 7 years, and on the wedding night, they have this giant party. They don't have any of the formalities we have today, but on the wedding night, they have a big party. Jacob gets drunk, wakes up the next morning, lifts up the veil, and voila! It's not Rachel. It's Leah. The one, I don't understand the kind of the one, Leah? Leah had bad eyes. I don't know what that meant, but that's what it says. Rachel was gorgeous, and Leah had bad eyes. So he gets out of his wedding bed, runs to his uncle, and he says, "What did you do?" "I agreed to marry Rachel. I didn't agree to marry Leah." And Laban says, "Oh, I forgot to tell you. In our custom, the older gets married before the younger. Or shall we say, the older inherits the family before the younger inherits." Now, if you remember last week, that's what Jacob did. He took the birthright of his older brother and made himself. Well, what happens? That is a long story for this cliche. What goes around comes around. Because think about it. Jacob was blinded, just like his father was blinded. He was blinded by the veil that Leah was wearing. What you did to your father got done to you by your father-in-law. Fascinating. See, lots of people who study other religions, they talk about karma. This is Judaism's answer to karma. What goes around, comes around. So now you understand, do not mess around, because it's going to get you. And I truly believe that, seriously. I believe that people who spend their time tricking other people end up getting tricked themselves. So, what does Judaism do about that today? Well, and when I talk about it at the wedding, I always get a chuckle out of it, but it's true. How many of you went to the veiling ceremony at a Jewish wedding before the wedding? Yeah, Joanne's head just jumped up. What kind of veiling ceremony? Yep. The traditional Jewish wedding, after the ketubah is signed, or actually before the ketubah is signed, you veil the bride. Why? Because the ketubah you sign, or the witnesses sign, should be the woman you want to marry. It's called, very interestingly, bedecked. It always reminds me of things. He was decked out in bedecked, to be decked out. And that's the idea. And the concept is, and when I teach it very straightly. He said, ever since Jacob, Jewish boys have wanted to make sure the woman they married was the woman they agreed to marry at the time. And we chuckle at it, but it's true. So it's actually part of the Jewish wedding ceremony, is to veil the bride. Now, I know what you're going to say. I thought our tradition said you don't see the bride before the wedding. No, you don't see the wedding gown before the wedding. So over the years, just to put your mind at ease, I've had the brides dress up in robes. They wear robes over the but nowadays with pictures. So getting back to the concept is very powerful. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you, or that which is hateful to you do not to your neighbor. Very, very simply. Jacob took advantage of his father's blindness, and his blindness was taken advantage of him. So, on that note, keep in mind what goes around comes around. Shabbat shalom, everybody. You all please rise. Please join us on page 586 for our layman.
Aleinu Shabbat Lazon Hakol, Aleinu Layot Celebration, Shalom Asanu Tikoya Haratzon, V'lo Samanu, Kibishpekon Hadama, Shalom Samu Yakeinu Kaem, V'yakor Aleinu, Kefo HaMonam, V'anav Glory.
Aleinu continues on page 588, on top of the page with the word Shehu. 588, Margaret. 588. 588.
Shamayim ve'yosef ha'aretz, u'moshem hikarom ha'shamayim v'maham, u'shkinatu zov, tekalem eromi, hu Elohim, Eloheinu, Emet Malkeinu, Emet Zulato, Habanu B'Torato, Yadat Hayom, V'Hashivota, Eloheinu, Elohim, Hashemayim Yimal, Yaharetz, we complete our Aleinu on page 591 with the words the
I
name.
can't find it here.
591.
I don't know where
I'll
the.
find it out.
Oh,
Ne'emar, V'haya Adonai, Lemelech al kol haaretz, Vayom hahu, Yeh Adonai echad, U'shemo, U'shemo, U'shemo echad. It is my honor to call to mind those whom we remember in the Yortzeit memory, as well as those who have been translated to eternity in recent days and weeks and months. Yortzeit memory: Louis Guzman, Celia Rothman, Mary Cohn, the past Temple President Norman Goodman, Hannah Davis, Edward Bernstein, Lillian Stedlow, Sam Miller, Helen Meyerfield, my father-in-law, Musa Hakaka, Francis Rose, Linda Faden, Leroy Stasel, George Gross, Leah Factor, and Tom Ford. Timothy Ben Phillip, Heather Olson, Michael Ben Yehuda, Jerry Wexler, Jordan Rogenkov, Matthew Rostein, Susan Del Negro, Maurice Field, Ita Bat Yaakov, Eleanor Friedman, Mark Brown, Alice Rivera, David Ben Viva, Anthony Akapoa, Abraham Yeshua Heschel Ben Yaakov Israel, Hannah Bat Abraham, Arlene Kaufman Pemberton, Han Hunt, Bernard Robbins, Lil Blakeman, Burton Steinberg, Helen Steinberg, David Talent, Everardo Ben Everardo, Chaya Wasserman, Neil Gross, Jennifer Giles, Ruth Bat Charles, Charlie Cohen, victims of the Lock Moment disaster, Ramit Sinai, Alexandria Rodriguez, Barbara Amato, Ethan Lellis, Edward McDaniel, Brenda McDaniel, Megan Unler, Baruch Ben Moshe, Lisa Eller, Michael Kendall, Bracha Bat Label Miriam, knows to us as Barbara Bolton, Nancy Hyatt, Ken Scarborough, Sonia Luna, Jack Allen, Lord is the wife of Carlos, Esther Beirano, Beverly Baer, Judy Williams, Bob Cohen, Samuel Silverberg, Samuel Silverberg, Carolyn Davis, Charles J. Kravitz, Simone Elkin, Irene Bobrovsky, Risa Newman Leach, Pat Winter, J. Black, Eva Frankie, Anna England, Gurmut Marvin, Leopold, Gurma, and Strawberry, Esther, Bad, Yaakov, and the Kaddish prayer is found on page 598, 598.
where is it in here?
As has been our custom, thank you. As has been our custom, there are people who have no one to say Kaddish for them. So if you'd like to join us, Margaret, tell me to help you. We all say the Kaddish together. Thank you, David. You have it over here.
Yeah,
No, take my here. I'll take mine. Take mine. Thank you, David. Yeah, no. Okay. Trust me, after all these years, I can find it. And let us pray. Yitkadal, Yitkadash, Rabbi. Yalma, Yivrach, Yeruteh, Yamlik, Malchuteh. V'chayechom, Yomechom, Chaye, Kol Beit Yisrael. V'agolah, V'zman, Kariv, Yiru, Amen. Yehesh, Rabba, V'barach, V'olam, V'omei, Amen. Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yipoar, V'yitramam, V'yitnaseh. Yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalah, Shmei, V'yitasham, V'yiku. Leila, Yikol, V'chata, V'shirata. Tush, V'chata, V'nechamata. Tamiwan, V'yalma, V'yimu, Amen. Yehi, Shlomo, Rabba, Mishamaya. V'chayim, Aleinu, V'yalko, Yisrael, V'yimu, Amen. Oseh Shalom, V'yimomah. V'yaseh Shalom. Aleinu, V'yalko, Yisrael, V'yimu, Amen. You may be seated. As you know, until further notice, although things have gotten worse. Not with things, but I think. See, Barbara's not here. I would ask her, do we need to show vaccination certificates to come into the temple anymore? I don't know if the county did that. Okay, don't. Okay, good. So, for those of you who haven't been in temple in a while, after we finish doing Kiddush and we do Oseh Shalom, you have a bottle of grape juice waiting for you with 2 slices of challah. So everybody, please join Robyn as she leads us in Kiddush.
Shabbat Kadishah, Ya'avah Ratzon, Yilanu, Zikaron Ma'aseh, Ureshi, Kibunat Tekimah, Le'ikrai Kodesh, Te'eretziat Mitzrayim, Kibanu V'charta, Kibanu Kidasha, Mikol Ha'ami, Yishar Kodesh, Ya'avah Ratzon, Yitratayim, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh Hashem. Amen.
We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices join in happy chorus as our prayer is humbly sang. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem haaretz. Amen.
Let us conclude the service with our hopes and our dreams for a time of peace. Understanding that we are mere humans, the maximum we can do is not enough, unfortunately. We ask for God's help. Please join us for Oseh Shalom as we close our service.
Shalom.
Yes, buddy.
Rabbi, I don't know if you're aware, but you didn't do announcements tonight, so I wanted to share this with the temple.
Please.